I am the Esperanza 243. You are here to listen and or watch me read a book aloud. A book that I have written. A book I call Musketeer Power. This is part 7. The last of. Today is an incredible day. Of course, you guys aren't probably already know this if you're following me on both Twitter and my Facebook page. But if you're not and you're just watching by video, you guys are probably not going to know until the video is up then. But my Twitter is now, both my YouTube channels are now connected to their proper Twitter accounts. So my Esperanza channel is now connected to my proper Twitter name, which is the same name, the Esperanza 243, and my gaming channel is now connected to the other one, which is WW which is ironic, because I created my original account, which is WW years ago, and now that I'm using it for the gaming channel, which is mostly Nancy Drew, it kind of coincides, which is pretty cool. So exciting. So today, of course, is the book reading. I am super excited about that because I get to read more to you guys. I love Musketeer Power. And one other thing I do want to bring up, though, before I start talking about the Musketeer Power, is that I am still continuing my radio show. If you're not following my radio show, please do. The link of it is down in the description below, at least for this particular video. So, my radio show, I host on Mondays and Fridays. Mondays, 5:30 p.m. Central, and Fridays, 5 p.m. Central. On Mondays, I do just, random music to make sure you guys are dancing to the beat and all that jazz. Of course, I also talk about random topics. And I've been actually running out of random topics, so I've been using a website that tells you what holidays are what on each specific day. So I've been using that to bring up certain topics, which is pretty cool. And Fridays, I do book readings as well, audio books, which is super cool. And again, I've been using the books that I've written. So and I try to make sure that I don't use the same books that are on my YouTube channel. So, if you guys want to check out my radio show to find out what books I've read on there, you're welcome to it. It's going to be a bit of a tedious work to find out which books go to which podcasts go to which books, because they're all jumbled up in the order of the dates rather than the order of the books. I wish there was a way to do that, figure that out, to sort it out for you guys, but I don't know how to do it, if there is. So, and I'm talking too much. I need to start talking about the book. In the previous video, which was the beginning of chapter 7, we finally get to... Wait, this will be the third chapter. This would be chapter 7 is the third chapter where they're being treated as a group as far as, the editing of the book, as far as the writing of the book. Because the first 4 chapters was individually about them. After chapter 4, again, it's all about the 4 group. It's all about the whole group, including Jimmy. I mean, I keep putting it out that he's an individual away from the group, but that's just because he's not one of the gang that's actually going to that's being trained to be a musketeer. It's just the 4 of them. So chapter 7 is basically the 4 friends. At the beginning of chapter 7, Macy decided to follow Sophia because she had a bad feeling of something, just after being confronted by the villains of the book, Lexi and Willie, which we find out their full names are Alexander and Wallace. Weird. But I figured they might as well use proper names that they were given as birth rather than the nicknames they've been living with. And they almost succeeded in kidnapping Sophia. But Macy interrupted, used her sword to use the super speed, and brought her out of the snacks area in safety. And they actually ran, including the remaining of their friends. They ran to the bus. Jimmy made sure that the driver was going to Morse, which is their next location. On their way to Morse, they're singing on the bus with another group, which is pretty cool. And when they get to Morse, I never really explained where they were. No, I did. They're at the bus station now. They're at the bus station. They actually started talking after they got off the bus, I guess. I didn't express that in the book, but they did. I need to express it. And so they're sitting at the bus station talking about it when they overhear a twin set of brother and sister saying that, "Oh my gosh, the king and queen are nearby. They're in a different city. They're not in Verol." And the four friends are like, "What? Wait, what? What is going on? How is that possible?" And and it's funny because the twins tell them that the king and queen learned of a girl disappearing and some Scottish chick appearing. And that's actually a reference to a book I'm actually working on. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish it because the part I'm at with it is so frustrating. But anyways, on with Musketeer Power. The brother and sister are making fun of each other because of, movies and references and stuff like that. Good grief. With them finding out about the king and queen being in a different city, they realize they need to rush because they have no idea if Lexi and Willie know about this. They have to rush to that city. I actually don't remember how many chapters there are, so I think there's 8. I can't remember. But onwards! Let's start reading, shall we? "Do you know where in Galeno?" Amari wondered. Maybelle nodded with a shrug. "I think it was the city hall." "Let's go!" Jimmy called after he grabbed their luggage. "We need to leave now." "No, Jimmy," Trisha said sternly when she turned to him. He stared at her in shock. "What? But Trish..." She put a hand on his cheek, her eyes expressing to him what she wanted to say. Jimmy sighed heavily. "You did say it would happen." "I don't want you hurt, and we don't know what they're capable of." He kissed her lips gently. Trisha hugged him tight before he pulled away. "Be careful," he whispered. She nodded with a small smile. "And save them." "We were born to save them." He chuckled and pinched her cheek lightly before handing her the cart's handle. "And back then I said to go home." She gulped. "Stay here." Jimmy scoffed with a laugh. "Thank goodness. And don't forget, you were born to play the violin. If only she enchanted that, too." Trisha chortled. Her friends pursed their lips thin at the romantic sight. Jimmy sighed, took his suitcase out, and walked away. Amari touched her shoulder. Trisha's head turned toward her. She hesitated before speaking. "When he found out, It's all right," Sophia said. "We figured as much. Let's go." "Right," she sighed. "We have to get there before them. Cab would be faster. Let's go." And they did. With Jimmy staying behind, they were able to fit in one taxi, the luggage packed in the trunk. "To Galena, please, and step on it," Macy said as she got in the front passenger side. "Are we going to afford this?" Trisha whispered. Sophia hit her, and she whimpered. We'll all chip in, Sophia hissed. Our friend is right. Step on it, sir. She spoke up. It's life or death. My kind of danger, he said with a big grin. Buckle up! He pressed a few buttons on his dashboard while they did so. Before touching anything, the driver waited for a few moments. The taxi lifted up in the air, making room for his tires to lie sideways. Smiling, the driver said a few choice words. Hot pink dust flew around everyone and his taxi. He lightly pressed on the gas pedal. His taxi zoomed so fast, the people he passed had their hair flying. Whoa! The adventurers chorused. What would have been a 2.5-hour drive minimized to an hour. That surprised them. When they stopped, the driver looked at their faces. He laughed. Hey, you told me to step on it. That'll be 50 Reisk. But the meter... The driver interrupted Sophia. 50 Reisk. It's only a challenge when no one says that, he said sternly. Macy laughed as she pulled out some of her money. Come on, girls, let's take his offer, she said with a smile. 4-way split is what we agreed. They chipped in their $12.50 parts and gave it to the driver. Macy gave him 20. Keep the change. She winked at him. He chuckled. Thanks, miss. I hope you save whoever it is. We hope so, too, Trisha whispered as she got out. The adventurers thanked him and hurried out. He activated his zooming taxi once more, heading back to Cepheus. All right, City Hall, here we come. The others stopped her. We need to find a place for our luggage first, Trisha mentioned. We can't keep lugging it around. Macy and Sophia agreed. What about a hotel then? It's cheaper than storing it, and we could have a place to sleep after we're done. That's if there's time, Sophia and Macy chorused. Keep an eye out for Lexi and Willie, Macy said. For once, they were ahead of them. Willie and Lexi learned the same thing when they arrived in Verol, but they didn't have a flying taxi like the adventurers. Amari and her friends decided to rest after checking in at a hotel. They never really got to, besides the sleep the previous night. Oh, this feels nice, Sophia whispered while climbing onto a bed. As she opened a door into the other hotel room, Amari chuckled. Trisha and Macy walked in. Please tell me we can stay here. Macy laughed before responding. Just for a little while. Then we have to go to City Hall. Trisha stayed quiet. She missed Jimmy already and wished he was there. Macy saw her distant gaze. Trisha, you all right? Amari put a hand on Macy's shoulder. They exchanged glances and expressions. Macy remembered what happened at the station and sighed as she sat down. Sophia hummed a quiet tune. Amari chimed in to vocalize. Macy recognized the lullaby in a matter of seconds. She let them go on, though, before singing the words. I looked in the woods, careful, said the little old woman. There are wolves and bears. I believed her, but was not scared. There will always be fear. Macy paused for a moment before continuing. Fears are things in life. Can't stop running away. Must face them. Cannot give in. Cannot face those fears, Amari and Sophia chorused. Reluctantly, Trisha pulled out her violin. She knew the lullaby too. They continued singing, but once they realized she got lost in the music, the friends stopped. Tears rolled down everyone's cheeks. Her music touched all of their hearts. They could feel the sadness she had, not to mention the message the lullaby gave. Before Amari could join Sophia on the bed, a knock sounded on their hotel door. Macy shook her head out of the lullaby music. She heard the knocking and answered it. She saw it was a young man. Yes? Your friend said you wanted to know when the king and queen arrive? She gasped and turned to her friends. Amari! Trisha! Soph! She cried. They abruptly looked at her. We gotta go! They're here! Without thinking, Trisha dropped her violin and bow. The adventurers always kept their weapons close, though Macy felt more comfortable in her jujitsu outfit. But she didn't have time to change. She knew the men wouldn't be far behind. They arrived at the city hall within 10 minutes. When they arrived, they saw a woman dressed in antique Scottish clothes. The king and queen were already there and speaking to her. The adventurers walked up to them, but the royal guards stepped in their way, blocking their path. Oh, good grief. Please, we must speak to King Nasir and Queen Kira. The royal guards shook their heads. She glanced at her friends. Their lives are in danger, please, Sophia whined. We have the guards and the musketeers for that. One of the royal guards spoke. He nudged his head in a direction. The adventurers glanced where he nudged. Men and women musketeers were wearing their night blue tunics with the royal seal. What I'd give, Amari whispered romantically. Trisha lightly hit her arm. The royal guard that spoke up heard her. He snorted. You must have training for that, and years of experience. We know, the four friends chorused. His eyes widened with surprise. We were supposed to be in Verol for our training. Enchantress Viola Winters sent us there, but on our way we overheard 2 men plotting against the queen and king. What proof do you have? Macy scoffed. The train! Trisha cried. His glance moved to her. We were going by train, but something happened. The train almost derailed. If it weren't for us, all those people would have been dead. The others agreed. What they didn't know was that a few people did die. When we stopped the train, Sophia continued, we overheard those 2 men arguing. They put the train in that position on purpose. So that a group of women wouldn't stop them from harming the king and queen, Amari finished. That sounds quite dramatic. Are you sure you aren't actresses? Sophia scoffed. I'm the only one with theater experience, Amari said. But that isn't dancing and ballet. Please believe us. We're telling the truth. And that is the end of Chapter 7. I would start in Chapter 8, but I want that to be the next video. Oh my gosh, everyone, that's incredible. I believe that is it for this video, of course. If there's any news, I'm sure I will put it in annotations below somewhere, either over here or over here. I don't know. But I know that is it for today. That is actually a bit short of a reading, surprisingly. So, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hate to be one of those people, but please like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I am the Esperanza 243, signing out.